And we are back on Hempstead Heath. It's been a couple weeks since I checked in with you because I've been doing all sorts of crazy stuff. I've been moving. I've been taking trains up to Scotland, hanging out in castles, doing quantum leaps. And of course, yesterday I was on stage with my mentor, the $1 trillion man, Mr. Dan Pena. There was 1,000 people at this event at the Sofitel Hotel, and it was incredible. People travel from all over the world, paid a lot of money to be there, and Dan was on fire. I mean, for the first 2.5 hours, I was standing in the back and my legs started hurting. And Dan, at 74 years old, was storming the stage up and down, just fire and brimstone, giving it as large as he could. And he did that for 8 hours. I mean, it blew me away. His suit was completely soaked through by lunch break. And he said, Brian, I couldn't change it, so I just spent the rest of the day soaked wet with sweat because he was giving it so big. And it was a great show. I think people got a lot from it. He went through case studies. He pretty much answered everything about QLA. But the real question is will these people pull the trigger? And that's what it all comes down to. It really comes down at the end of the day to the emotional bank account, not to the financial bank account or even the techniques and the methods of QLA. So I wish everyone well there. I'm sorry I didn't have more time to spend with people there. I know I got a lot of requests for selfies, but you know, it was Dan's event. It wasn't my event. And I just kind of wanted to make sure he had the focus of everyone's attention yesterday. My thoughts today are this: surround yourself with greatness. That's just one of the great lessons I've learned in the last 2 weeks. And you know, you can love or hate Dan Pena. You can say what you want about that man, but he is great. You know, I've had the pleasure of spending my time over the last 8 years with 600 or 700 of some of the greatest minds on the planet, some of the greatest people on the planet. And Dan is right up there in the top 5. I mean, just being around him and feeling his energy and seeing how he conducts himself and the message he puts out, and also reading between the lines. Sometimes you got to read between the lines, folks. You know, that someone might say they're doing this, but look at their actions. Look at how they back it up. Look how they, or if they, consistently deliver on those actions. That is the message. The message isn't what comes out of their mouth. Oftentimes, the great ones are telling you something different out of their mouth, and their actions are actually pulling you to a greater goal. That's my lesson today. And there's a lot of examples of that out there where, you know, a lot of times we focus on the words or the images, but what's really underlying that? What is someone backing it up with day after day after day of their work? And, you know, Dan's almost celebrating 27 years in the high performance coaching business, something that, you know, he's earning a fraction of the money he used to earn when he was in the oil business or in Wall Street or in the various other ventures that he was in. And, you know, that says a lot to me. And I probably know Dan almost better than anyone on this planet, probably as good and in some ways even more than his wife, Sally, just because, you know, we've had our head-to-head, you know, battles. And it's great just being around that greatness, you know, just seeing a little sliver of that is like the essence of the greatness of humanity. When you can see one of us, you know, one of the 7 billion of us attaining such a level, it's just so inspirational. And I was thinking, you know, of all the warriors that used to follow Alexander the Great or Genghis Khan or, you know, the Spartans going into battle. I mean, they did that because there was a leader that reflected back to them all of the greatness inside of themselves and the potential for greatness and the beauty of humans and humanity. And when you're around those people, you will do anything. You know, you will sacrifice your life. You will follow a path to be there because that's really what matters. I think that's the essence of why we're here, to have that moment of grace and to be something greater than ourselves and to be the very best version of ourselves. And so I've been 2 weeks super up close with Dan and spending tons of time with him, and it's been a real pleasure. And had dinner with him last night with me and 3 other people on the Hall of Fame, and Marcus, Robert, and of course Bruce Whipple. And it was just great. And Dan was he was just really thankful to us last night. It was a real special moment where he just thanked us for everything we were doing and then told us that we hadn't done a goddamn thing. And that's what I fucking love about Dan. And he told this to Bruce, who's like in his 60s as well. He's like, I'm expecting you to start doing big things, is what he said. So yeah, beautiful moment. All I would say to you is find a way to surround yourself with greatness. Get in the proximity of those people. It's literally priceless. Do what you have to do. Spend the money, spend the time, spend the sweat, you know, bleed, whatever you have to do, but get around these people, even for a few minutes, even for an instant, because these people will, they'll just give you something that you can't get from money, from drugs, from retail, from sex, from anything. They'll give you just that glimpse of something truly beautiful in the world. So those are my thoughts today. I hope you're having a great one. I think I'm gonna go jump in that goddamn freezing pond right now and get back on my path. Can't wait to get back to London Real Studios on Monday. We've got a massive event coming up on September 19th with incredible names coming to town, announcing that on Monday, and all sorts of cool stuff happening. We're going to New York City in February, of course, premiering our movie Reconnect in New York City, and I'm gonna tape like 15 episodes in New York. It's gonna be awesome. So lots of love. Hope you're out there getting after it. Find that greatness and get close to it.